So 2 questions to finish, Martin. The first is probably a difficult one. What difference do you think you've made to the world of higher and further education? And then what do you think the future holds for the further education sector, and what do we need to do now to prepare for that future?
Oh, well, the first one is a difficult question because, you know, I think it'd be arrogant to evaluate reliably what your own contribution, what difference you're making. It's for others to judge effectively. If I were to say what I hope I've done, I think I've stimulated greater understanding of further education within the university in which I'm operating now, added to the perspective of colleagues, affected their thinking, and looking outside to the college sector or back into the college sector and with colleagues at Fettel, I hope I've stimulated a debate amongst that distinctiveness issue and about how you generate focus. And I do see more thought and consideration being given to what's the distinctive contribution we can make. And even just the growing use of the term technical and professional education is kind of indicative of people thinking more precisely and consciously about the difference they make. Now, how long that lasts, we'll see. But hopefully stimulating that debate and greater reflection and thought is what I hope I've done.
And the future?
And the future, well, some days you wake up pessimistic and some days you wake up optimistic. I think the only way to go forward in life is to wake up more days optimistic than pessimistic. If I were taking a pessimistic view, which some days I do, perhaps on a Monday morning or after a hard night the night before, it does feel like a bit of a cycle. We've been here before. We've had MVQs, we've had diplomas, we've had T-levels, we've had modern apprenticeships, we've had trained again, we've got apprenticeships, and things go around in a cycle and we never escape that cycle. But actually I don't think that's the case. I think we're actually at a very interesting point. And I think there are a number of external circumstances combined with capabilities that exist within further education that gives me significant cause for optimism. If you look first, I think, in terms of the changing nature of society and the economy, then it's almost, the answer is further education and what's provided with further education institutions and providers. The immediate one that everyone's talking at the moment is about Brexit and the need to grow our own skills. I link that to, you know, a realization that we need to be more productive, and productivity comes from increased skills, and it particularly comes from intermediate level skills, and it becomes about having education that meets the needs of society as well as the individual, which is playing in the space where most further education providers are. So they become the answer to that need. There's also the whole issue around social fairness seems to me to be gaining greater traction, and the importance of place through devolution. Again, you see further education being much more in that space and needed to be the solution. And you see it about talking about community well-being.
And ageing population,
and ageing population.
Yeah.
And interestingly, a recent visit to China, the Chinese wanted to ask us about adult education and continuing education, recognizing there's an ageing population and that people are going to have many careers, but also they need to be mentally stimulated and feel well. Again, this is our space. But there are certain conditions they've got to meet to turn that optimism into reality, and clearly one of the key ones is funding. We've taken hits here in that space. I kind of guarded optimism insofar as the 2015 spending review seemed to me to be bottoming out the cuts that have been made disproportionately to further education. And I don't sense any real wish to take more money away from further education. In fact, some's gone back in through the apprenticeship levy and also from T-levels, but it tends to have been partial and particular. The 2019 spending review, I think, will be really important if my optimism's kind of sustained or my pessimism's reinforced. So that's an important time. But the other thing I think is Those are external things. Those are things that are happening outside us. Is what we can do to prepare for that. And I do think, without banging on too much about your own ideas, a key thing that institutions can do now, and providers can do, and charities can do, is think about what their core purpose is, what they do well, so they're ready to take advantage of the reverse of the demographic trough, to take advantage of the need to actually grow our own skills, take advantage of the wish to try and equal out outcomes between places. So thinking through what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and how you'll do it well, seems to me to be what colleges do. And then they can hold their breath till these things come home. Then they'll inherit the earth at last.